So let's create a reverse foot controller that will help us to animate toe movement, the ball of our foot, and all that good stuff. So I'm going to go here, I'm going to go to skeleton, create joints, and then right below the ankle here, I'm going to click once, just below the toe, and then I'm going to reverse back to the ball of the foot here, and then up to the ankle here. I'm going to hit enter on that. Now, what happens is now this is going to be the thing that controls or drives when we do a heel pivot, a toe pivot, things like that. So with this selected, I'm going to go to my front view, right? Hit W and just align it with this foot here, like this. I'm going to hold Shift and then align it here. Now, what we need to do, I'm going to go to perspective for this and then just hit spacebar to zoom in on this, is we want to connect each one of these joints to our foot controller. So let's go ahead and turn off our polygons. They're sort of getting in our way for a moment. And I'm going to create some IK um, solvers that go all the way down to the foot, and we're going to use that as a way of parenting these joints to the controller. So I'm going to hit Q to get rid of my locator for a second. I'm going to go back to skeleton, and you can see that we get the IK section, create IK handle. I'm going to go off to the side here, open up my option. Now, I want to use a single chain solver for this. So the difference is there's also a rotation plane solver. The rotation plane solver is for doing things like um, creating we'll get into it a little bit later, but like creating something like a pole vector, which it'll be a handle that you move left and right and it moves the knee. So um, we'll hold off on that. We'll get into that. So a single chain solver we can use for more finite tuning of our um, parenting of joints. So I'm going to click on that ankle. Then I'm going to click on the ball of the foot. And then I'm going to hit G, or I'm going to go ahead and close this. Hold spacebar down, skeleton, create IK handle, because it remembers our last option, and select that. Now what I'm going to do is selecting this, let's go ahead and select this IK handle here. Come on, let's see. Let's uncheck the joint for a second. There's this one and this one. Oh, you know what we have to do is we actually need to add one more IK handle. I'm sorry, from the hip to this ankle here. So what I'm going to do is just quickly do the same thing down here as we did with the other one. So skeleton, create IK handle tool from here to here. And then I'm going to hit G to redo last action, select it from here to here. Now we want to do one more from the hip down to here. So I'm going to hold spacebar, create an IK handle tool. Now, with this option, I'm going to actually switch it to our rotation planar solver. Select the hip and then go down to here and then hit G to redo last action and do the same thing here. Okay. What this does is, let's turn this back on for a second. If I go to move this down, it's what we're going to do is we're going to lock it so that those feet stay in place so that it doesn't just slide through the floor. And what's really neat is with our IK handles, if we select it here, if I move this up, notice it does a nice bend for us of the knee off of the hip. See that? So when we go to skin this and we do our walk cycle, it moves a lot more realistic. All right, so with that IK handle selected, um, I'm going to, and actually this might help a little bit. Go to display, and then we want to go to, I believe it's heads up display. Let's see. Under animation here, we can do IK handle size. And we can increase the size of our IK handles so it makes it a little bit easier for us to grab them. So you can see there. So you can see we have one here, one here. Now, what we want to do now is select our IK handle and then that joint, hit P to parent, and then just move down our stack. So like this, hit P to parent, and then this end piece, and then P to parent. Now what you'll notice is when I select my ice skate here, or my reverse foot controller, and I move this up, you can see it moves, the leg moves with it. And the same thing goes here. When we go to do our toe pivot, and I hit E, you can see that it raises that. This will adjust that ankle, and then this will adjust our foot going up and down. So let's do the same thing here. Select this IK handle. I'm gonna hit Q to hide to just do selection, and then hit P. This here, hit P. This one, hold shift, select, hit P, and let's test it. Looks good. Not bad. And there's our toe pivot. And now when I select my root and I hit W, you'll see that it locks that foot in place. All right, I'm going to go ahead and save this one. And then what we'll do is I'll just move on to the next video.